Good morning, beautiful TMT Tuesday morning, friends. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning, and we're going through a Tuesday morning transformation. So here's the question of the week or of the day. How are you growing? How are you growing? Well, you're like, Fred, what the heck are you talking about now? Well, let me get through this, okay? One of our basic needs as humans is to grow. We always have to grow. In fact, we seek growth. We seek growth, and when we're not growing, then we become depressed. We become depleted. We can become sick. Hey, Letitia, and it can even create disease. And it's one of the reasons that people turn to alcohol, they turn to drugs, they turn to antidepressants. Why? Because they stop growing. And you can see this. It doesn't matter how much money you have or what you're doing. It's when people get in a rut and they do the same things and they're going through their task, but they don't feel like they're actually growing and progressing. Yes, they may be progressing and things are getting done and your kids are getting older and you're at the same job and things are being done, but day to day, are you really growing? And we seek that growth, and you see it here a lot in Southern California. People with, hey Kelly, people with boatloads of money, and they can go shopping and they can buy, hey Jimmy, they can buy whatever they want, but they're not growing and they're miserable. Hey Karen. And then you see now the antidepressants and then the, whatever, infidelity or however people express that, because we have to grow and progress. It's a human need. It's actually a need in our humanity. In our divinity, our spiritual self with a capital S seeks to be known. So because we're spiritual beings in a human body, we seek to know our spirituality. So the difference is with growth, it's progress, not perfection, right? Perfection is stress and anxiety. Progress is happiness. As long as we're growing, as long as we're progressing, as long as we're moving toward something, towards really knowing ourselves, coming into a higher consciousness, then that's where happiness and joy comes from. So when we look at the world today, here's the problem. Why are suicides the highest? Why is domestic violence the highest? Why are there all these problems and people are depressed? Because what happened is the government said, nope, you got to shut down. We got a virus problem, which that's another whole issue, not on this. But what happened is people stopped. They stopped growing. Actually, they became suppressed. And why would suicides? Not just because of finances or you lost your job. What happened is it took away growth and progression. And you take that away from us, then what happens? We decline. Now, you have to grow, so you're either going to grow in health or you're going to grow in disease. But as spiritual beings, energy moves. So we're going to either grow in health or we're going to grow in disease. Now, what's also health? It's not just our physical health. It's our mental, emotional health, and most importantly, it's our spiritual health. So we have to grow in our spiritual health. Why? Because we come in as spirits, incarnated into human form, here to create something with a purpose on this physical plane, right? Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. That's why we're in this physical body, to manifest that purpose, come through here to progress through that purpose. And to progress in that purpose, we have to evolve emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. And when we stop evolving and growing and progressing spiritually is when things turn. Because as a spiritual being, we're here to create. So what are you creating? Imagine that you're a life force. You are life force energy incarnated into this physical body. You are life force energy. That means you are creative energy. The universe is beautifully, lovingly creative. So your spirit is a creative being. You are creating all the time. It's like a fire hose that won't shut off. Imagine if you're holding a fire hose and it never shuts off. Well, you better be careful where you point it. Are you progressing in a way that's growing spiritually? Are you progressing in a way that's growing mentally and emotionally? Do you seek that? Your humanity craves it, and that's who you are divinely. That's who you truly are. You truly are unity and love. So what happened now? Social distancing, what's it do? Create separation. Do you know, in prisoner, you know where social distancing started? It started in the CIA with creating in dealing with enemies. It started with prisoners of war, where people were tortured, and they say prisoners of war, the torture wasn't the physical torture, it was being separated from your buddies, it was being isolated. Social distancing disrupts and segregates and disrupts unity, which is who we are. It disrupts unconditional love, which is who we are. And so if you get in your mind with that and you're not progressing, and even though you may have social distancing, you still feel connection with people, which that's I'm not even going to get in that. That's a whole nother video, which is all part of the pandemic, but we're not even going to get into that. And so what it does, if we get too much in our mind with what's going on in the world and we don't seek that spiritual growth, then we're going to break down. Then we're going to get sick. Then we get depressed. And that's where we have anxiety. Now people are coming out of their house. You don't see people care as much about social distancing. So what's happening now? Oh, now they're going back to mandatory masks. Well, I'm about to go to the Board of Supervisors again because there is no science that proves that. So we already got mandatory masks lifted. Now we're going to go for reducing mandatory masks in businesses. Because why? As spiritual beings, it's not consistent. There's tons of science that shows that those don't even work. But that's another deal. So if you look at our spiritual being coming in, we also have to deal with our humanity and our divinity. It's like a hologram. So your spirit comes into this body, and we have this veil. Neil Donald Walsh calls it in Conversation with God, it's like a veil of ignorance. Why? Because if we came in with the wisdom of the universe, if we came in with the wisdom of heaven, we wouldn't have any of these problems, right? But where spirit comes in to have this human experience, so we have this veil. Innately, we know who we are, but we don't always consciously know who we are. And then we go through these human experiences really with the desire to innately know ourselves, to innately come back to where we've always been. So what's that mean? Sometimes we go from heaven and we go through hell, only find our way back to heaven. And that's really it. But if we didn't do that, our spirits wouldn't have this human experience. So it's necessary, yet our basic primal innate desire is to know who we are. And when we do that, our power to influence the world, our power to create unity, our power to be unconditionally loving, our power to have internal peace, just that consciousness alone begins to change the world. And then our relationships begin to change the world. And we are in a time where we're going from an old paradigm into a new paradigm, and it's time for us not only to take a stand with what's going on in the world, not with anger, but with unity and love, to have a message of unity and love, to be able to represent unity and love, so that new world that we're transitioning into, that's above evil, right, that's above a lower consciousness, that is a divine consciousness, to create that world of truly heaven on earth that we came here at this time to do. So how do you do that? Right? There's other people that have done it. Hey, Martin Luther King did it. Nelson Mandela did it. Mother Teresa, we think, well, I'm not them. That's right. You're not them, and they're not you. And you are you, and they didn't have any more power other than to become conscious of themselves, find a problem in humanity, and then have the commitment to be able to solve that problem in a way that promoted the ultimate divine message of the universe, which is unity and love. So how do we do that? Well, I have a couple of questions for you. One, do you feel that urge inside you that there's something greater in you than you might be expressing now? Do you feel that? That's your spiritual urge, your divinity urging through your humanity. Do you feel something pulling on you, right, to take you above how you feel about yourself and what you're doing in this life today? Do you feel that pull? There's something greater. There's something inside me that's bigger than what I'm doing or maybe what I know right now. Do I understand the principles of being bigger than my body? You know, John Mayer, we're bigger than our body, right? That there's something bigger in me than my body that I'm feeling this urge to do. And then all you have to do, if you feel that, May have no idea how to get there, or maybe you have a plan to get there. All you have to do is say yes. All you have to do is say yes to those questions. Yes, there's something bigger in me. Yes, I feel it. Yes, I feel this urge in the core of my being, wanting to express my higher self into the world to fulfill that purpose on a higher level. As long as you say, yes, I'm ready to discover and express the highest version of myself today, right now. Now that could be kind of scary. It's like, oh my God, what's going to happen next? And when you say, yes, I'm willing to go through whatever I need to go through. Now that may sound like, man, what's going to happen? These are big things. It's real scary. And that's your mind getting in the way. That's humanity getting in your way. Because when you say yes and you're willing and you're convicted, what you're going to find is things come in your path. The reason you may be struggling in your life, if you are, or you feel that urge, you don't have to get there, is because you didn't say yes. It's because you didn't step in. It's because you didn't jump into the deep end of the pool. And you may have your toe in the water, or maybe you did jump in the deep end, but now it's time to swim. But when you say, yes, I'm ready, is when it becomes easier. Believe it or not, it seems ironic. It's when it becomes easier. Why? Because then you have inspiration. Then the bigger part of you, the real you, begins to come out. Then you don't have fear. Then you do everything with love. You may have to develop skills that you're not comfortable with, but it becomes inspirational. You start to rely on the fact that you're connected to the universe, and my universal self is going to make things happen. And things will come in my way, and it'll be easier. Now, why is this message coming to you? I'm not delivering this message. You wanted this message, or I wouldn't be sitting here telling you. So for you guys that are listening, you wanted this message. You feel that urge. You want something to come out of you that's bigger. That's why I'm talking about this, is we all work together. We are all unified. There's unconditional love between all of us, beautiful TMT family. And now we want to know, okay, I said yes. Just say yes. Write down yes in there. Yes, I'm ready. I want to see some participation. Yes, I'm ready. And when you say, yes, I'm ready, and you're convicted, man, everything starts to move. Good things start to happen. People come into your life. Conditions come into your life. Abundance comes into your life beyond what you've imagined. Not only beyond what you imagined, but beyond how you imagined it would come to you. So really, how do you do this? Well, if you want help on the how, hey, June 30th to July 3rd, we got a 5-day live where I'm going through You're More Powerful Than You Think. I'm taking you through the H.E.A.L.E.D system that's in the book. Now, the book that I wrote, You're More Powerful Than You Think, man, when I wrote that, I had to live it. It changed me. You know, these principles I'm talking about today, I may have known some of them in my head, but I struggled. I felt that urge. There was something bigger. I had frustration. I knew there was something bigger in me, and I didn't know how to get it out. And I even had a purpose, but I kept hitting this ceiling. And then when I wrote that book, I had to live it, to write it, and break through that ceiling, and now see the potential, and now know how to get in touch with my divinity, and then create daily rituals that do that all the time. And then it's a matter of surrendering. I mean, I'm 59 years old. I started writing that book, I don't even know when, probably in my early 40s. And now each year, you should be different than you were before. Each day is another step forward. When you say, yes, I feel different now than I did yesterday. Okay, so it's a little bit. It's just progress. Little bit, step by step. And when you do that, man, and in the last 10 years, hundreds of people and doctors that I coach and people that call me and take them through breakthroughs where then they come back and say, thank you, I have internal peace. Things are coming in my life. And it's because of this H.E.A.L.E.D system that I didn't create. It was divinely given. So we're going through June 30th through July 3rd, a five-day live, and I'm going to take you through the 6 steps of H.E.A.L.E.D. Hey, this is free. Okay, this is an opportunity. So if you say yes, and you say I'm ready, and you want to know how to do it on a higher level, then go to the You're More Powerful Than You Think page and register for this event. Share this video. Because what we're going to do is you're joining a movement. You're joining the You're More Powerful family. You're already in that family. You're watching these TMTs. share the video, and then here's the most important step. Number one most important step, this is number one. What number? One is show up. It's just show up. 80% of success is just showing up. 80% of getting everything you want is saying yes and showing up. That's it. Now they'll be taped. If you can't make them at 10 a.m. Pacific time, watch them that night, but stay immersed. 5 days, I guarantee you, will change your life. So let's get in touch with ourselves. We feel that urge. Let's take the step. Let's make a difference. Let's join the movement together, and let's shift the consciousness of ourselves so we can begin to shift the consciousness of the rest of the world. Hey, the globe, the whole planet, humanity needs it right now more than ever. You came into this body to make a difference. Join the movement, and let's raise the consciousness of humanity, and let's create that new world that is truly moving toward and is heaven on earth. Okay, love you guys. See you next week, and see you on You're More Powerful.